Welcome everyone to the only Magic the Gathering and Elden Ring fusion channel. I'm Kurt.
And I'm Rykard. Here we're going to build custom commander decks that are influenced by Elden Ring characters and vice versa.
And as always, we're hosting a full double feature.
In the second half of the show, you're going to get to watch some of your favorite characters from Magic run around the lands between. First deck that I want to talk about is Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy.
Together we will devour the very gods.
The commander I ended up choosing was Saryth, the Writhing Storm. It's a commander I've always wanted to build for a long time. It was a blast to make, and it was very cheap because I just threw it together with a bunch of cards I had, but nothing in the deck is super expensive by any means. But just to familiarize for those, Saryth, the Writhing Storm, 5 mana, 3/5 flying snake Leviathan in the Temur colors. The obvious part about this is that he's a snake and he's a Leviathan. Obviously, you're looking at a large creature, so you're already getting the flavor of Rykard right off the bat. The secondary parts of the card: whenever an opponent draws a card, except the first one they draw in their draw steps, create a one.
Let's hold it, man. We got an invasion.
What?
Yeah, there's our first invasion.
Oh God.
You ready?
No. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, but the color pie, I was really surprised about how you picked Temur. The blue really struck me as odd.
Yeah, and I think I would probably be surprised to most people, especially when you're looking at Rykard visually in the game. There's nothing blue about him, but I didn't really want to stick too much with using direct artistic representation of the characters, because you're going to lose a lot of the impact that you get from the colored pie, which I'm a huge fan of keeping true to.
Absolutely.
So my reasoning for Rykard, obviously, when it comes to the colors themselves, I think green is pretty apparent. You're going to get the most snakes in Magic in green. And Rykard, I think at his very core, is pretty Gruul. You're looking at a character who wanted to sacrifice himself to worship the snake god to get more power and, really devour the gods, as he says.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get the little tease of black, but the reason that I chose to go blue over black is, despite the fact that he sacrifices himself, Rykard, the pivotal thing in his story excuse me, is that he I see an Invader.
Yeah, let's put it on pause and give us a little buff. Just a little buff. Oh, he's mad. Oh shit. He should be. He should be. We buffed right in his face. Alright, you ready?
I'm gonna... What'd you use for buff?
I don't remember. Oh, Golden Bow.
Oh. Alright. I can try my new... Oh shit, he's coming at me. I've done nothing to you, sir. Where's he going? Why can't I hit him?
Well, I kind of feel bad about killing all the guys now.
That sword there killed me. What's that giant double automaton? Biggest pet peeve of this game.
Ooh, good heal. Nice. I think he's panicking.
I think he just wants to go away. Come back here, son.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's kind of a rough spot. Good fight, sir. That was good.
One of the core things in Rykard's story is that right before he gets devoured by the snake, he has this epiphany, this huge vision of the great serpent devouring the world, which that in and of itself, the very act, it's a large scry, essentially.
I really got that. When you told me about it, I said, wow, this really makes sense in blue. You sold me on it.
Yeah, so I like having, his... And I mean, there's nothing saying that he doesn't have further abilities to scry or have more sight now that he is a part of the serpent. I mean, that's the forethought is that he will be devouring the world at some point.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I did play around a little bit with trying to find something in black. But again, having access to Gruul colors and a large snake commander was just too much to pass up. And the other parts of Xyrus, or Rykard in this instance, whenever your opponents would draw an additional card beyond the first one on their draw step, you make that many 1/1 green snakes. The Serpent people, to my understanding of the Elden Ring lore, did not come about until after this Rykard Great Snake reunion. I could be off on that. But nonetheless, when you go through Volcano Manor, you're going to find nothing short of plenty of these wild snake men. And why not make more snakes?
Yeah, I love it too, because when you hit us, you were getting snakes, you were drawing cards. It was crazy because it was like his blasphemous reign was coming to fruition.
Yes, which I have some very specific things to highlight on that. And then, of course, the very last part of the card is that whenever he deals combat damage, you and that player each draw that many cards. I always like flavoring it as Rykard's fun speech, where he asks you, like, join the Serpent family, and we can devour the gods together. And so, when you're playing the deck, if you stick to that kind of mentality and just think Rykard, you're gonna have a blast with it. And so, the showcase cards that I put together, I really tried to stick with something that was thematic.
Yeah, I want to hear specifically about some of the cards that give this deck its identity.
One of the first cards that I chose to put into the deck is Blasphemous Act. You're not going to run a red deck that doesn't feed the board with creatures and have Blasphemous Act.
And he is the Lord of Blasphemy. So.
Yes, it is the most flavorful card in the deck. You have to run it. If you're running red, you're going to run it. But talking the blasphemous act of betraying the Erd Tree in the Golden Order, it is Rykard's card all the way through and through.
Okay.
Next one, Embercleave. Embercleave is such an iconic red sword.
So what is Embercleave?
Embercleave in the game is going to be the Blasphemous Blade.
And what is Embercleave in Magic?
6 mana red legendary artifact equipment. It does have flash, which is very unique. Rykard almost kind of flashes it out of the throat of the snake randomly in the second part of the fight when you thought you won. The spell costs 1 colorless less to cast for each attacking creature you control. And whenever it enters the battlefield, attach it to a creature you control. The equipped creature gets +1/+1, double strike, and trample. Equips for 3 overall. I mean, Blasphemous Blade is one of the most iconic weapons in Elden Ring. Embercleave has become one of the most iconic blades equipments in Magic.
I absolutely love it because it's pure red, and that's what I imagine the Blasphemous Blade is.
Yes, and it's one of the
and
sneaky,
it's nasty.
It is. It's like the sneaky card in the deck.
It's got all those little wriggling worm snake things coming out.
It's gross. It's really gross, I'll be honest, but it's also visually amazing. And that, like I said, that blade, awesome. Embercleave, when you can flash it in, if you hit somebody one time, you've got a couple snakes out in this deck. Because I will preface, this deck is very Voltron, other than the snakes. There's a few other creatures in there, but they're just kind of your own preference, I guess. But when you can sneak out Embercleave just out of bare bones, and then all of a sudden you have a 4/6 flying double strike trample that's going to net you 8 cards, and one of your opponent's 8 cards, you truly will be devouring the gods very soon. It's coming.
I love it.
Snake Skin Veil. Simple, 1 mana green instant. I don't think I need to really say much more than the fact snake skin, large snake. Puts a +1/+1 counter on a creature. You want to keep buffing up Rykard even if it's just a single counter. And then it gets hexproof until end of turn.
Well, it's basically, I mean, we can't say counter spell, right? But boy, does it mess up people's plans. For these 1-drop greens with hexproof. I know that there's other ones with indestructible out there and whatnot, but I think the Snakeskin Veil is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at, like, flavor-wise more so than competitiveness. I mean, obviously you could just run the Mithril.
I love it. 100% belongs here.
Yeah. The next one. This one I kind of played around with this idea, but it's a newer card. I wanted to try it out, and having tested it in the deck, it works really well. Leyline of Resonance.
Oh, I read... Yeah, so when I read this the first time, I thought... Man, this is an excellent addition because Rykard is using that blue that you were talking about with the scrying, and this ties in the instance and sorcery spells to that, and it's like the volcano is the ley line of resonance, at least how I took it. But what did you do?
Yeah, I mean, and even if you look at the artwork for it, it does look kind of reminiscent of Volcano Manor, obviously the color red. To describe the card, it is a 4-mana enchantment. Like all the ley lines in the game, if it's in your opening hand, you can start with it on the battlefield. And then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single creature that you control, copy that spell. You can choose new targets for the copy. Like I said, you're going to be targeting Rykard, Saryth, for the majority of all your spells.
It's like Volcano Manor is giving him the power to do what he wants to do through Ley Line of Resonance.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I love it.
And I'll kind of feed more into it a little bit. The last thing I like about the card is visually, the way the red just zigzags everywhere. It is a lot like how Rykard's Rancor in Elden Ring zigzags through and around opponents.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of keeps triggering attacks, just like this will by triggering multiple instant and sorceries, which I guess to kind of spoil somewhat of the surprise, the deck is built literally for instant speed combat tricks.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing anything from simple Giant Growth, Titanic Growth, Gimli's Fury, anything that instant speed pumps your creature out of nowhere. It's a cheap and easy investment.
And it gets you all those cards.
All the cards. It gets you all the cards because you want all the cards.
I love how, too, when you were attacking people, they really didn't mind taking a face full of Rykard because it meant, I'm about to get some cards.
It is very interesting. This was a unique one. Basilisk Collar. Obviously, this deck can be very instant and sorcery based, but I wanted to steer away from it. And the Basilisk Collar is definitely more of a call to Elden Ring itself, because in the lore, the Serpent God and snakes and the regenerative property of snakes when they shed their skin is what they use to kind of represent lifelink.
Rebirth.
Yeah, so Basilisk Collar, obviously the name Basilisk generally refers to a snake-type creature.
Which is crazy, right? That it works out like this, because typically, I believe in the old art, it doesn't, but with this new art, it has that crazy-looking basilisk troll thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at the D&D art is the one that I run in my deck, but it is a 1-mana colorless artifact equipment. Equips for 2, literally just gives a creature death touch and lifelink.
And why do we care?
Because you want to gain all the life.
Well,
you want all the cards, all the life.
Absolutely.
Because Rykard did become stronger immensely when he became a part of the snake, and it is a tricky little thing. It kind of adds a little bit of evasion because then
the death touch people don't want to block either.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
And so you're gonna have a flying death touch, and you're like, I guess we're probably gonna take it. The little bit of lifelink, you don't think it's much, and it kind of it adds up. And it varies a lot because if you just have this on your Rykard Saryth as natural, you're gonna just get 3. But with how much you can hit for, you can literally just take a hit and just feed on into the Basilisk Collar, pump up him, and you're gonna gain 18, 20 life so fast. This part, this was another fun thing that I wanted to incorporate with a big thing with Rykard and his lore, is his relationship with Tanith.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
So, obviously, Tanith, the lady of Volcano Manor.
Lady Tanith, yep.
She is a very... Oh, we're invaded.
Oh, wow.
By a finger proxy. We're talking proxies and magic? Oh my goodness. They knew. They knew what was going on. They want to be
How would you like a buff?
I'll buff us this time. I got it.
Oh, what are you putting on? The same thing. You do Golden Vow.
I don't have Golden Vow.
Well, I'll do that one. Okay. Gotta love the buffs.
I love how we did that simultaneously.
Hey, we both understand the importance of health in both Magic and Elden Ring. And make no mistake, life is a resource in both of these games.
There they are. They're going up top.
Where? Lead the way. Oh.
Up to where the commander was. You had a weird weapon, though. Couldn't tell what it was.
I think we have to get on the elevator to get to him.
We can go through the house.
Yeah, that too. Did he jump down?
He went right, so he's either up there or on his way back down to us.
Whoa.
Oh, he's in there.
Alright, let's just go fight him. We got invaded earlier, so we don't have to kill these things that bring in all the knights.
I'm going to try this.
Ooh, he's got blood flame.
Ooh. And the lightning. That seems rude. Chaos too. Uh oh. I see what you're about, son.
Oh, you got that death lightning?
I've been wanting to try this for a while.
Uh-oh. I think you might be trapped.
Get back here. Oh, death lightning again.
Good fight, sir. Good
Well
fight.
done, Proxy.
I love it. I love being part of the community. That's why I wanted to have invasions.
Yeah, it works out really well.
Yeah. Great. That was awesome. Okay, so we were talking about Lady Tanith.
Yes.
And
No proxies, real cards now. So, Lady Tanith, to freshen you up on the Elden Ring lore, exotic dancer, Rykard falls in love with her, brings her back to the lands between, and obviously sends you on all these awesome quests. A card that I've had in one of my decks for a long time is Diao-chan, Artful Beauty. If you're a fan of the Dynasty Warrior series, you're very familiar with who she is. But this is a 4-mana red legendary creature, human advisor. She's a 1/1. You can tap her to destroy a creature of your choice, then destroy a creature of an opponent's choice. You are targeting both times. Activate this ability only during your turn before attackers are declared. There was nothing better in Magic that I could find to represent Tanith than Diao-chan.
it works beautifully.
I mean, and the artwork is so gorgeous. I love this
Yeah,
card.
and you happen to have the foil. I don't know if we can show that one on screen, but it is nice. Was that from?
This is
Commanders 2016, it looks like.
I think it was whatever one it was most recently reprinted, because this is an old card from like the Portal of Three Kingdoms. But Diao-chan, much like Tanith, ends up, I guess, not just befriending, enchanting a powerful warlord. The similarities between her actual story
very
and
similar.
Tanith's are very, very paramount.
Yeah, great eye on that one.
And it does add
Great
to...
find.
There's a lot of politics with playing this deck a little bit, because obviously you're going to choose who you want to hit and who's willing to let you hit to draw cards. This lets you kind of play the politics with removal, because you get to destroy something, and then that creature's controller can also choose something to destroy. And so it just was a fun little inclusion. Bouncing off the back, the fact that she is a dancer, another new card from a recent set that I love so much, especially in this deck, Waltz of Rage. 5-mana sorcery in red. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. Until end of turn, whenever a creature you control dies, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until the end of your next turn.
I love this card just for the card's sake.
Yes.
I have put this in a few red decks. I'm sorry, I put in one and I played it twice, and it performs every time.
It's so nice. And you really don't. It's almost excessive card advantage in this deck, because you're gonna just draw a lot of cards anyway, playing off of the back of the Rykard ability in this build. But when you make so many snakes, if you just think, maybe I need to find a piece to really get home right now, you can hit Waltz of Rage without pumping your commander and just wipe your board, possibly wipe anything else if you're just going naturally that has toughness 3 or less. And you're going to exile so many cards.
Well, you say that because Rythus has a power of 3, correct?
Right. I mean, you can definitely pump him up and just do this as a whole board wipe everywhere.
Yeah, I got you.
And then you just have even more cards at your disposal, which, again, that's the fun part about this deck, is that you're always going to have so many cards either in hand, or if you use this spell, just the one time you're going to probably pop off a good 12 plus cards.
Well, he only deals combat damage to a player. You get that many cards.
Oh, yeah, no, you're not triggering off of that. I'm saying when you kill your snakes that you hitting people.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
You're going to wipe all your snakes and then exile however many snakes you have die off the top of your library.
Makes sense.
And then, kaboom. You've got the Waltz of Rage.
And what is that in Elden Ring?
So this is just a throwback to Tanith's history as
the
a
waltz,
dancer.
the dance.
Right.
I got you.
The whole
End of Rage makes sense with
the
Lord of Blasphemous.
Exactly. And if you ever try to cross her and talk bad about Rykard, good lord. I don't know what she would do in the game, but it would be a problem.
So what do you got next?
These are just 2 fun cards that I threw in. They're not exactly flavor-filled, but if you're going to run this deck, you're going to want to run a wheel card. So I just threw Windfall in. Obviously, if you have the money, go ahead, get Wheel of Fortune, get whatever you want. But this is not designed to be a wheel deck. because just playing it the way it is, you're going to get plenty of card draw. You're not going to have any issues with that. Windfall, I love wheels. I mentioned I'm a Nekasar player by trait. Wheels are just great disruption for your opponents.
Yeah, they are.
And so
I love it when you do it every time.
Yes, and then I mean, if you're ever in a position where you're like, man, I just wish I had a few more snakes or some way to attack.
If I have to fight Nekasar one more time,
you're gonna love it just as much as you did the first time.
Yeah.
But so Windfall is an easy thing, and I mean, just thinking of it, you're gonna get a bunch of snakes out of it. You get some new cards.
I got it. Yeah, so you can get your wheelie boy of choice, but Windfalls, I honestly is one of my favorites in terms of affordability, in terms of mana and money.
Yes, and what I like about Windfalls, it actually has you draw. This is actually a fun little nuance I found when playing it, is that it actually has everybody draw cards equal to the greatest number that a player discarded. And generally speaking, that's going to be you in this deck. So I've used it to a point where I can almost get people to a point where I can mill them out by having, I don't remember how many it was last time. I remember I hit somebody and I had like 20 some cards in hand.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, I'll just wheel. I got a ton of snakes out of it because you guys drew 20 cards off of this.
Each.
And I was like, you're welcome. We will devour the gods together.
Oh, yeah, that was when you hit us directly.
Yes,
I remember.
It was a great time. And then there was just so many things. And obviously you can put in different finishing pieces in the deck to kind of, cycle off of the number of creatures you've made. Or I have shared animosity in the deck because that's just a fun little slap it down, go wide, have
Makes
fun.
Sense. With all those snakes you're going to be making, it's going to be fantastic.
It is. It really, really is. And then the last card that I put in there, again, not a flavor thing, but if you're playing anything that's going to use instant speed tricks, a long forgotten ability, Blood Rush. Love this ability.
Again, thematically, it really works out.
It does. It does. There's a lot of hatred in Volcano Manor. Everything's trying to kill you. So this is, I run two. There's like a macaw cat that does a +3/+3, but the one I really like is Rubble Hulk. This is it's been reprinted a few times, but it's from the original, I guess it was Gate Crash, I think. I think it was the Gate Crash Ravnica set. 6 mana, red and green elemental creature. Power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. Has Blood Rush for 3. So you pay 1 colorless, a red and a green, and then you discard Rubble Hulk from your hand. And then target attacking creature gets +X/+X until in a turn where X is the number of lands you control. You're going to ramp a pretty good amount in this deck. I have, I think, 2. I have 2 mana rocks in the deck. You're running Soul Ring, and then you're running Arcane Signet.
Okay.
But the beautiful thing about Blood Rush is that it's not a spell. It's actually an ability off of a card, so it's hard to counter. Mm-hmm. And it can give you, especially late game, it will give you a humongous buff to your commander, and no one's ever expecting it. And then, I mean, if you absolutely needed to, you could play it as a creature, but you're 100% just using this as a 3 mana, mostly uncounterable instant speed +X/+X for the number of lands
to finish it out. I mean, you're going to get so much card draw, you're going to win. You're just going to take the game away after that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think if you're just casting it on curve with everything, you're going to have you're going to end up probably doing, if you don't miss a land drop, you're going to have 6 lands on the board. So right out the gate, you're just going to get your commander +6/+6. You're going to be drawing 9 cards on that first hit.
Yep.
I mean, it's
super duper good. But with that being said, can we talk about the bracket system where it would fall?
So technically, I put this into MTG Goldfish, and I just kind of let it score off of that. That's the site I've always loved using. I think it scored at a 1. Because I have 0 game changers. I know brackets are pretty new. For me, they're kind of whatever. It's a fun little template to work off of. But the deck itself, it's good that it's a 1. Because like I said, there is no game changers.
Well, Goldfish just approximates based off of how many game changers you have, right? But really, if you look at the bracket structure, they talk about the cohesiveness of the deck. How well does it all play together? And obviously, that's never going to be quantifiable. But we can do our best of saying, hey, this deck does seem to work well. I mean, honestly, if you had to give it a 2 or 3, would you?
I would probably score this a 3.
Just because of
Because so far, having played this probably about half a dozen times, it is super consistent. Everything is very low mana cost. We generally play a more casual table.
Yeah, we do.
But if you wanted to ramp this up and play it more competitively, like any sort of Voltron deck,
game changers all day. Yeah, you can add whatever you want.
You really could. But honestly, when I was looking at the current list that's out for the game changers, if I'm recalling right, there's nothing on the game changer list that actually is a pump spell, because pump spells aren't anything that.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy in
They
Commander
don't
to have
outright
a combat trick.
Right. I was like, I think the craziest one that you could end up running that is sneaky is running Hatred, but that's a black card.
So obviously we couldn't get away with that.
Yeah, because I did think about it, because I love Hatred.
So at the end of the day, you think you could call it a 3?
I think it would be fair to call it at least a 2, possibly a 3. I haven't played it against really, really high competitive tables, but like I said, just the overall consistency, you're doing exactly what any deck needs to do to succeed.
Draw cards.
You're drawing cards,
damage.
You're playing ramp, and you're going to most likely win through combat damage. And if you don't, you'll be able to surprise people with the snake overrun. Yeah, I mean, so that's the Rykard build. I think it's a fun deck.
First card we want to talk about is an old card that's proven itself many times.
That's annoying.
Yeah, I get it. It is Fanatical Devotion. It's one of my favorite enchantments in white. It's 2 colorless and a white, and it says sacrifice a creature, so you can do this at any time. Regenerate target creature. If somebody board wipes, I get to sacrifice all the things I don't care about and regenerate all the things I do. Sure, they're tapped and I'm open to be swinging, but man, does that work.
My favorite thing about this card is the art. This I don't know if it has another artwork or not, but oh my goodness, I'm gonna try this person's name to give props to the artist. Massimiliano Frezzaro. This card has been annoyingly good, especially with like Pillow Fort style decks.
I can't help myself. I'm an Esper boy.
Yeah, I know. I
speak its praises. You never listen.
I never do, because it irritates me so much.
All right, so that brings us to the new card, Cephalid Face Taker. It's a 2 colorless and 1 blue for the mana cost. A 1/4 Cephalid rogue creature. It can't be blocked. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, you can have this card become a copy of another target creature until end of turn, except it's a 1/4 and can't be blocked.
Yeah, I don't know if he said it's blue, but it's blue. This is a very simple, solid card, and it's highlights from the Capenna set, which is probably my favorite set that's come out in the last several years. This card it's really fun, honestly. You have so many options.
But my favorite one, and this happens all the time, Ancient Silver Dragon was out, right? My opponent had it, and I was able to roll a d20. Now, of course, I roll a 1, so I only get to draw 1 card, but for 3 mana, even drawing the 1 card alone was, in my eyes, worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, in next combat, if I get one, I get to do it again, and there's always something cool out there that you'd love to get through with.
Yeah, I mean, there very well should be.
And that's it for the cards of the week. That leads us to my favorite part of the show.
The reason we're even here, ladies and gentlemen.
Introducing Saryth the Viper's Fang in the Lands Between. This is a melee build with no casting that uses bleed and deadly poison to get the job done. Saryth chooses to reside in the Weeping Peninsula near the demi-human forest ruins. Her creatures have hexproof as they hide in the shadows, that is until they attack with their death touch. Well, that leaves us only one place to go now. You ready for some invasions?
Let's test her out.
Now, I love having the big pots or any kind of pots that'll poison people because it's actually, you can see a little tracker on them.
Yeah, it does really nice for some area control too.
This guy's totally stuck.
He's panic rolling. He's panic rolling.
Well, who wouldn't? He's stuck in the chain and the...
You either just take it or you run.
And then, of course, the rivers is always in your face. Rivers of blood. Doesn't matter what invasion.
It's, like mentioning blood.
Got him.
And it's... That shield is so funny to me. I love it.
I know, it's like throwing Oran Frostfang out to do your dirty work.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, now they're tagged, so you know where they are.
And I got the buff. So the buff is a good indicator that you got the poison off as well. Sometimes I run the maddening hand in the left, or I'm sorry, not the maddening, the poison hand in the left as well, because when you get the poison buff, or when you get the poison proc, the buff goes off and it's a visual indicator as well.
Okay. I haven't played with a lot of poison in my Elden Ring plays, so it's fun to see. Like I said, I really like the shield.
Now I've lost him somehow. I just had that tracker. He must have healed with a bolus.
Yeah, and I don't remember how long poison actually stays on for, but I know it is a long time, but it is likely that he had something.
Okay. I saw him for sure. I saw him. I remember this part. We're about to get him now. See if anybody else knows where he's at. She's quite nimble on her feet, though. She seems fast.
It does, yes. Candlesticks on the move.
Got him. Alright, let's fight.
I do like the Melania.
I really like that Ash of War, especially on this.
I think it's really nice. I know it's kind of hard to hit. Because I know it'll do the extra damage if you nail it right on. I think it has like a animation to it as well. Like for you to actually stab them properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bubble. She's a primarily arcane focused build too, so when she takes blood loss, she takes blood loss.
Well done, well done.
Have some courtesy at the end. Give a bow if you kill someone. Saryth is, in fact, a 4 mana value creature, 3/4 human warlock. She costs 2 colorless and 2 green. Other tapped creatures you control have Death Touch, but other untapped creatures you control have Hexproof. She also has pay 1, tap, and untap another target creature or land you control.
Snakes, of course.
But I'm not a fan of just having one weapon. I like to have at least 2 per character just to switch it up in the middle of combat. So we also have the Serpentine Katana.
Mm-hmm.
And that one has a very unique R2, and it was very helpful jumping in and out of battle and just slapping it down real quick.
Let's test her out. See how she does.
Let's see it. This is one of my favorite places to invade just because of how amazing it looks.
What I really like about it is it has, and I don't invade a lot, but I like watching your invasions for sure, where you have a lot of intricacy to the map that you can use to your advantage.
See, that's why I'm not a big fan of the duels, because this has like height. You have stairs, you have pillars to hide behind, and other pieces of the map that make it a lot more interesting. So that's why I think the invades is more fun than duels.
Yeah, I think dueling is probably good for
Get over it.
first learning, like some of the skills playing against other people.
Woo, got him.
That poor guy just wanted to see.
I love that art.
He just wanted to see the world.
He saw it.
Yeah,
Briefly.
he didn't get to the top of the ladder. Unfortunate.
Oh man, the Moon Veil. The Moon Veil spam. Come on.
This ends up being a very good fight. I like it.
Yeah, but you better respect that katana. Look what he did to me in about a half a second. I got caught up in it.
The katanas seem like the stronger weapons I've noticed. Especially when you're getting like Rivers of Blood or the Moon Veil. Especially because those Ashes of War at that distance.
Woo. Man, gotta watch out for that Moon Veil. Especially when you have such short reach on these venomous fangs.
Yeah, you definitely have to get up in there.
But hey, he's poisoned.
Yeah, it's doing work. It's one of those times where you gotta keep him distracted so he can't heal over it.
Yeah.
Or try to activate any boluses.
He needs more snake. Man, he is good with that katana. Reaper, I believe. Good fight, man. Good fight. That was my favorite, was jumping in and that R2. Clipped him. Good on the defense. Good offensive attack. Moonveil. But the poison's just doing its job. We're running out of heals now.
Yeah. I mean, this is one that I think just keeps adding more and more and more to it.
See the damage that thing can put out? Woo! Risk it for the biscuit.
And that blood loss right at the end.
Great fight. Great fight. Honorable.
I like having the serpent bow into this as well. Obviously it gives you a nice little bit of a range option.
But the serpent bow is actually our representation of Viridian Longbow. And that is a 1 mana value spell, 1 colorless, and artifact equipment. It says equipped creature has tap. This creature deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So obviously with Saryth giving all her tapped creatures death touch, this is a 1-shot kill to anything any creature touches.
Yep.
We have also a Scattershot Archer is one of my favorite cards in the deck. It says it's a 1 mana value creature for 1 green. It's a 1/2 elf archer. Tap. Scattershot Archer deals 1 damage to each creature with flying. So we were actually representing the Scattershot Archer with the poison arrows and the deadly poison arrows mixed with the serpent bow. Now, one of the more interesting ones is the 1,000-year elixir in the Saryth deck. At first, you might not think the activated abilities of creatures needed to be played as though they had haste, but really, there's a lot of mana dorks in this deck. And so what happens is, once you have your mana dorks out, immediately they can be tapped to be blockers, and they kill anything that comes your way, obviously. So this card actually means a lot for Saryth. We also had the You Look Upon the Terrace. That was part of our flasks. You Look Upon the Terrace, specifically the Run and Hide portion, which says, You Look Upon the Terrace is a 5-drop, a 5 mana value, 4 colorless, 1 green, instant. Run and Hide, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to you and creatures you control this turn. And that's the Opaline hard tier in the physic. You can see Green Burst Crystal gives us that extra stamina we need to use our Death Touch and our Viper Bites. And then the Opaline Bubble tier is the protection we need. It's only once, 1 turn, but it helps negate that damage when you make a mistake in an invasion.
Yeah, I mean, the Opaline has been a lifesaver for me a few times, and it'll help give you that last little bit of protection.
Well, we also have Finn the Fang Bearer. How can you talk about Saryth without Finn the Fang Bearer? And I love it because of the Infect.
He just makes Infect better. He can't, Death Touch better, I guess. But that's a great card.
Well, the 2 poison counters are just out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of. You're blocking is basically what this card says.
Yeah.
It says you're going to block these creatures you're likely to lose if you've set the board right up.
And hey, we got a bunch of Death Touchers, so we're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, he's a 2 mana value, 2-drop spell, 1 colorless, 1 green. He's a 1/3 human warrior. He is legendary, but he has Death Touch. And whenever a creature I control with Death Touch deals combat damage to somebody, they get 2 poison counters. So we're going to actually represent that with the poison and deadly poison. The poison flower bleeds twice. Absolutely. And one of the best card draw options for Saryth, I think, is really the Infiltration Lens. And we have our Infiltration Lens represented by our telescope equipped. It's a 1 spell, or a 1 colorless mana for another equipment. It says whenever equipped creature becomes blocked by a creature, you may draw 2 cards. So getting that extra card, an extra 2 cards every combat, essentially, with all the fear of blocking in, I think it works well.
Yeah, I would say Saryth is one of those cards and a deck that I was kind of surprised when you said you wanted to build it. I think most people would maybe look at Saryth and be like, oh, she's pretty good, you know? There's nothing crazy, you know, she's not Toski drawing you 100 cards for just playing squirrels or something.
Yeah.
But she gives you a lot of unique value, a little bit of combat tricks, and I really like how easy it was to kind of correlate Saryth into Elden Ring. I like the build that you came up with for her. The poison is a really fun mechanic to use, whether you're playing, you know, PvP or PvE. It's
well, you said it was a mono green control. I don't know if it went quite that far, but it was surprising how much control you had over every creature's life.
Yeah, it definitely it was a very interesting build, and I will say it has annoyed me on multiple occasions just because it does offer a good amount of resilience, and I mean green is good about just playing big creatures and
getting the job done.
Yeah,
green is all about getting the job done.
You know, it draws cards, it ramps, makes things fly, it makes things have trample, death touch.
Easily one of my favorite colors.
I mean, what doesn't green do these days?
Now we're in the DLC. I didn't get a lot of invasions in here, but the Ancient Ruins of Rao is one of my absolute least favorite places to invade. It is a nightmare. It's literally a nightmare labyrinth.
I think I haven't played it, like I said, I don't do a lot of invasions, and I'm recent to that area, and I know I haven't actually unlocked the full map of that area, but having played it a little bit with you and then exploring it, it is such a big area, and I think this might be a slight critique I have of the DLC, is that it is beautiful and the maps are humongous, so when you do get an invasion, you have a pretty wide open space to try to find somebody, and depending where you are, there's not a whole lot of enemies that an invader can use to their advantage.
That's why that you look upon the Tarrasque physic works so well, because I did not see that what's it called? The Bloodhound Fang slash. That would have taken out half my life.
Yeah.
That's why that works well with the build.
It is a tricky move to avoid.
Yeah, you gotta weave in and out with her, and you can't take much damage.
I also want to say, whoever this crew is here you're fighting, I can't see their names very well, but it's basically the Radon twins at this point.
Yeah. I love it. I love
Props
that
to the
headdress,
uniforms, I like that.
So you gotta watch out. That Bloodhound's Fang will get you every time.
It has a lot of range, and you can delay that second swipe quite a bit to decide if you want to teleport. Like
yeah, it's got a lot of versatility.
I've never liked the blade itself because it is one of the heavy curved swords, but it is definitely a very fun skill.
Look at that. Don't roll, man. Just run. Run from me. Oh, look at that. Foolish on my part.
But the poison is doing its job.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think I was going to like poison this much. I didn't know if I was going to like Saryth that much in this game. It was pretty hard to invade with her, but I absolutely love taking Magic the Gathering characters and putting them in Elden Ring.
Yeah, there's a lot of pretty fun correlation that we'll be able to do. If only I could play Rykard like himself in Elden Ring. I'd love to just run around with a giant snake.
Oh man, the roll catch. Good fight. Good fight.
That sword has a lot of range, it hits hard.
Well, there's three invasions of Saryth. Hopefully that gives everybody a chance to see what she would look like. Real-time combat in the lands between. That's what we're talking about. So this is actually my Mad Pumpkin build with my wife. Her name's not really Hana. It's just her character's name.
Hey! This is YouTube 2-on-1, right?
Yes. We were going through Kaled as a team and just showing the invasions as we progressed.
Well, that
Drop
was
kick.
weird interaction.
Yeah. That's actually one of my favorite incantations that he just used.
I was gonna say beat something. What are they? The
Crucible Knight.
there you
ones,
go.
Yeah,
So
the
it's
shoulder check one. Ooh, face full of flame.
I haven't played around with those too much, but they do seem kind of interesting because they they let you kind of mix and match melee builds. But
I love the fire and ice mix. These Madness bottles were actually pretty fun to play with. I'm looking forward to turning it into an Invader one day.
yeah, I really like those perfume bottles. I'm glad they kind of updated them in the DLC so that you can actually use them as a weapon.
It's something for Madness.
Yeah.
You can see it actually does a lot of coverage. It does a lot of zone control, I think. I'll never use this light torch again, I don't think. It was awful. I don't like it.
It's too hard to direct everything. I mean, I get the madness; it should be kind of randomized, but you know, it's a neat tool. But I do love madness. I think it's very fun.
Nice.
He's just trying to survive, and then he went mad.
I love the visuals on that.
That is one of my
They're
absolute
beautiful.
favorite things about madness is the way it kills somebody when they just go completely mad. Castle Soul Ring. Welcome home.
It's good to be home.
I like this build because this was right after you told me you were going to mess around with the magma sorceries, which visually they're stunning. Love them so much, and they can do a lot of damage, but especially the primary ones, I would say.
It looks like we got 3 of them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm glad you're good enough to take 3 people.
Here, all right, you got that giant flame cake beat. Good spell. Aiming it where I'm gonna be. That's how you win fights. Nice. Let's avoid the wave. And don't underestimate the Night Maiden's Mist.
Oh, that's a great spell. Great spell to use.
I've taken a lot of life away with it. And if you intersperse the charge versus the quick unuse, you can actually... Nice, got that one too. You can tell the difference in timing of explosions is very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, and see, I never thought that they would be that effective because, like I said, they can do damage, but you can see them coming from a mile away. And so if you're familiar with them enough, I think you can definitely understand the timing just by looking at the size of the orb.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's just something you still have to react to. Much like this guy reacting to this bird. That is just complete torture.
He's just running for his life.
Yeah,
Good luck, my
that's what
friend.
I do when these birds come too. Stay at casting distance.
Oh, Hand of Millennia into the waterfowl dance with the bird.
Yep.
Good fight.
Waterfowl 1 this time.
Good fight. Good fight.
Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed the videos and our breakdown of the decks and our Elden Ring characters, or I guess our magic characters put into Elden Ring. We're going to hope to try to do this, every couple weeks or so, just to keep things fresh. We've definitely got plenty of ideas, but we're hoping to get some input from you guys as well. Submit some decks, some Elden Ring characters, if you guys like the magic crossover or vice versa.
Yeah, if you guys think that you can do it better than us, send in your submissions, but keep them on our rules of engagement at the end of the video. You'll see it on the outro scrolling, and we'd love to see what everybody has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and make your version of Rykard if you think there's a better commander to go for, or you have
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
Yeah, you want to make a tier 4 Rykard deck? Absolutely, go for it.
And in the future, we're going to include a featured invasion of the episode. Is going to have 3 of them. One is going to be for the host, one will be for the blue, and one will be for the red. And if you guys send in your video submissions, we'll try to pick our favorite ones to showcase that next episode. But again, you have to follow the rules of engagement on that.
Yeah, we'd like to see everybody. We kind of want to make this channel a nice community spot where we can have everybody just come in, watch some videos and some invasions in Elden Ring. And if we got some Magic nerds out there, we're going to cross over for sure and talk about different deck builds.
And as always, we'll like and subscribe to every video submission that follows the rules of engagement.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Next time, we'll hope to see you again at Castle Sol Ring.